Is it okay to dislike your parents? I'm Nicholeen Peck, and I teach all about parenting, family communication, and relationship building all over the world through the lens of the principle self-government. And we're going to talk about the parent-child relationship and if it's okay to dislike each other in this video. In this video, we're going to be talking about why children may dislike their parents, and if there's valid reasons for that, and then what we should be focusing on if we find ourselves in a situation where we're disliking our parents. So why might people dislike their parents? I mean, the number one thing is maybe the parents are very different from them. Maybe their personalities are difficult to deal with. Maybe the parents even have some problems in their communication, which make it hard for the child to respond in a way where there's a lot of bonding that happens. It could be that the parent-child bond has been damaged. In fact, it's very likely that the parent-child bond has been damaged in some way. Sometimes parents and children alike get really invested in something. Maybe that something is business. Maybe that something is friends or peers or TV or movies or video games or religion or whatever, nature or exercise. There's so many things that people could really get invested in. Let's say a parent gets really invested in business. Well, then what happens is they end up doing business so much that they don't have as much time with their child. And then that could make the child feel insignificant or like they don't matter that much to the parent. And so then the bond could end up breaking. Maybe a child gets so into their video games that the child ends up tuning out the parent all the time and they're spending all their life online instead of with the parent. Well, then that breaks the bond. At that point, the parent will start to try to pull the child away in a forceful way because the parent is seeing, well, that child is not bonding with me, and so that doesn't feel right. And then the child might feel like, well, I don't really want to bond with you because you're forcing me to bond with you, right? So then at that point, how do they fix that? I mean, you could say the child should know. They shouldn't be online and just on video games every day, all day, and, not focusing on their bonds and relationships with their parents. You could also say that the parent should, even though work is good, take some breaks away and put the people in their life first. There's a lot of different things that you could talk about as far as people's priorities, but that's really the key thing is priorities. Why do people start to get bothered in their relationship with their parents or with their children? Well, it's because one person has a certain priority and somebody else has another priority, and those priorities don't necessarily match. Sometimes the priority of one person is self, and the other person's priority is themselves. So then you have two people that are being selfish. In fact, oftentimes our priorities that end up dividing us are selfish priorities. If we really thought about our true deep down priorities, we would acknowledge that usually family comes first for most people. But sometimes even though you love your family, you don't like them, right? Like that can happen. You can feel like, I have friends that I like a whole lot better. There are people that tell me nicer things than these people tell me. Okay, that can be the case. Some people might not know how to communicate well. Some people might not know how to voice a difference of opinions. Even the children might not know that, right? Parents and children can both blunder a bit when it comes to their communication, especially if they haven't planned ways that they want to communicate or problem solve together. And this can lead to a lot of manipulation and hurt feelings. And that right there can make a person feel like they don't like somebody else. Because if they feel like the other person doesn't care and they only care about themselves, then it seems like that they shouldn't like them. Because why would you like somebody who doesn't seem like they care about you? The thing is, no matter what you do, your family's with you forever. Forever. You can move away, run away, hide away. They're still your family. Forever. So, how do you handle the situation? Let's talk about that. But first, let's determine if you not liking your parents, or if you're a parent watching this, your child not liking you, if there's any kind of validity in that type of a feeling. Before we talk about if it's valid for a child to dislike their parent and what to do about it if that happens to be the circumstance, leave me a comment. What's going on in your parent-child relationship? Why do you dislike them? And if you're brave enough, how about you ask me what I recommend that you should do? Can you take it? Because sometimes the solution has to come from your side first. In fact, usually it does. I teach self-government. That means we control ourselves first instead of focusing on controlling other people. So leave me a comment. Let me know what's happening. And if you want advice, let me know. So is it valid for a child to dislike their parent? Anybody can feel a feeling of dislike, okay? I can dislike a behavior that somebody did. Someone could lie to me and I could say, I dislike dishonesty, right? I don't like that. And it's okay to not like a behavior, but to become indifferent to a person is the opposite of love, and that is where you could find yourself in trouble. So we don't want to be indifferent. We want to care, even if their personality and our personality are very, very different. And the things they care about or believe in are different than the things that we care about and believe in. You can get along with people who believe different things than you. There's going to be a time where you are your own person. Maybe you're already there, and still your parents believe in different things than you. Don't take it personal. They shouldn't take it personal either. It may be heart-wrenching for them that maybe you do something different than them, but don't take it personal. Those are people that are supposed to be there for you forever, and when push comes to shove, they are the ones who always will be there for you. They're the ones who would give you a kidney. They are the ones who would sacrifice everything for you. Don't let those little differences get in the way. So can you dislike something that somebody does? Yes. But let's try to refrain from disliking a person. Now, sometimes a person can be an abuser. Sometimes a person is someone you can't live with for whatever reason because it was bad news with them. But don't carry it in your heart. Don't carry indifference or hate or dislike in your heart. Protect yourself how you need to, and then decide to love from a distance. It will bring you more peace in your life if you can love from a distance, or even love close up if it's possible, than for you to hold on to those negative feelings. We have a lot of unhappy people in our world, and it is because they are holding on to all of the wrong feelings. The feelings of being a victim, the feelings of fighting, all of those feelings are non-productive feelings. And we've got to start focusing on things that are productive, like caring and loving, even if it has to be from a distance, which means that sometimes forgiving too. Forgiving is one of the signs of deep love, and you have to choose to do it. So you're living at home, let's say, and you're feeling like you're not so connected to your parents. In fact, you're not sure if you have a whole lot in common. What do? Open up. Just open up. Talk to them. Talk to them about the things that make you happy. Talk to them about the things that make you smile. And stay away from the ideological, controversial stuff. That isn't who you are, and it's not who they are either. Talk about other things. If you have to, talk about the weather. Talk about the birds. Talk about a memory from your childhood. Talk about who you were, and maybe that will lead you into becoming who you can be together. This is a hard time, but it doesn't have to be the defining time. It doesn't have to be the time that makes or breaks your relationship forever. That's short-sighted. You need to have a long view. Where are you going? What do you want it to be like? Plan for that. And when they say something that you don't like, or you don't appreciate, or you feel like, wow, you're clueless, just let it roll off. My husband used to always say, water off a duck. It's just water off a duck. You can decide to just let it roll away and not make a big deal out of it. Every word that someone says in our society today does not have to be turned into a federal case. People aren't perfect. Your parents aren't perfect. They weren't perfect when they were children either. They made a lot of bad mistakes. We all do. You may not have ever heard about them, but they're there. And they have fears that you're going to do the same or worse. They love you, which is why they are trying so hard, but sometimes the so hard looks like force. It looks like they don't know what they're doing. You got to help them out. There was a time when I thought my parents didn't like me. And then a sweet neighbor said to me, Nicholeen, have you ever thought of just saying okay? I told her it would never work, that that's what they wanted me to say. And she said, no, Nicholeen, really. Every time your parent tells you to do something or not to do something, just say okay and be okay. And I bet you soon you'll get to do more of the things you want to do. She was right. She was totally right. I went home and I started saying okay and being okay. I started living my role as a child, a learner, and allowing my parents their role as teacher. And I thought I was going to just play this game and wait it out until I turned 18. But you know what? In the end, we became the best of friends because I was my role that I should have been and they were their role that they should have been. And all of a sudden we opened the doors of communication. We talked more, we did more. My mom would check me out from school just to go to a sale to go shopping with her. She never did that before. Suddenly, we were each other's favorite people. All happened because I chose to say okay and be okay. Try respect, try open communication, and try patience and forgiveness too. All of those things can be utilized and they can be transformational for you, your heart, and your relationship. If you've enjoyed this video, I'm pretty sure you will benefit from my next video. It's actually a full-length class. It's called The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success. And it is all about how we trap ourselves with our expectations and we get our emotions caught up in them so that it leads to damaged relationships. That could be happening to you. So click on the link to The Expectation Trap versus the Cycle for Success now.